This podcast is brought to you by RX Smart Gear. Whether you're just starting out in your fitness journey or an avid workout enthusiast, a jump rope is one of the most essential pieces of equipment you should have in your workout arsenal, and I cannot recommend RX Smart Gear jump ropes highly enough. I've been using the RX Smart Gear jump rope for close to 10 years now. The quality, variety, customization are beyond compare. I actually did a workout yesterday with my first RX Smart Gear rope that I got almost 10 years ago, and it's still an amazing addition, still worked out great for the workout that I did. I love these ropes. Not only are they dedicated to constantly improving and challenging the community with their variety of ropes, but they're also dedicated to the education when it comes to their ropes and promote proper movement and technique patterns, which we of course love at Power Monkey Fitness. They've recently launched their new Frevo rope, which is made of a high impact polymer that can withstand up to a 50-pound dumbbell impact. With grippy handles and smooth transitions between drills, you cannot lose with this rope. Take your freestyle game to another level and visit rxsmartgear.com and order your rope today. Welcome to the Power Monkey Podcast, where we chat with the best in the world of fitness about what they do. I'm your host, Dave Durante, with my co-host, Mike Service, and on today's episode, we have Matt Torres, the owner and CEO of Brute Strength. We are talking everything 24.1. The workout was announced last night. The 2024 CrossFit Open season is upon us, and we're giving some insight into how the everyday athlete might tackle this workout. Only 2 movement patterns, things that most of us are familiar with, a ton of reps. If you guys watched the workout last night when those CrossFit Games athlete performing it's probably going to look a little different than how you're performing it in your own box this weekend. Matt gives some great tips on how to tackle this workout. We hope you enjoy it, and good luck and have fun over the next 3 weeks. Well, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time. This is being recorded the morning after the Open announcement yesterday at 24.1. We're excited to discuss what Castro and Boz put out there. First, how you doing, buddy?
Wonderful. Yeah, ready to get this season started. It feels funky saying that it's already here officially.
Yeah.
But it brings some good energy when you walk into the gym today.
So what's the normal strategy for you and the team coming into an open season? If you don't have an athlete that's participating in the actual open announcement, do you guys just observe Thursday night? Do you do anything as just watch and then prepare for maybe Friday and rest of the weekend?
Yeah, historically, it's just watch. We watch the announcements go down. We're writing down splits. We're taking notes. The coaches are all meeting to figure out pacing and strategy. The athletes are hitting me up, asking if they should do this, if they should try that. Fikowski did this. Everyone talks about Fikowski because he's just like it's like a very analytical approach, if you will. Yeah. But Friday's the big day, and I think like even this is the first year I don't have an affiliate that I'm going to be coaching in. But it's typically what we do. Well, the athletes will come in, they'll do their first training session, and then they'll go home, and then they'll do the open. So yeah, today's the big day to test it.
Do all the athletes test together, or are they spread out throughout the day depending on kind of what their schedule allows for and what you plan for them?
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that. Here right now is Fee Sagafi, and Dallin Pepper next week will be here. Right now he's at B up in North Carolina. But if they were both here, they would both do it together. And I think it's more so because it's guy and girl. Mm-hmm. Last year, every time we had some sort of online competition, we had to schedule everybody's. We had 5 of them. So it'd be, girl, guy, girl, right? And so it was, 3 girls, 2 guys. And so it was a little bit more, I guess, like mentally demanding from our standpoint to make sure that everyone feels like they have a fair chance without someone else gaming them. So, this year is a lot less stressful. I'd say that.
All right, so let's get into the workout. The workout is straight up. Jordan's pulling it up right now, but it's not the most complex thing in the world. Just Castro giving us a 21-15-9 and just tripling it up for us. So 2 movements. We got dumbbell snatches and we got burpees over the dumbbell. 21 single-handed dumbbell snatches into 21 burpees, into 21 single dumbbell snatches with the other arm, switching back and forth, then 15, 15, 15, 15, 9, 9, 9, 9. Time cap of 15 minutes, weight of 50 for the men and 35 for the females. So shit ton of reps here. I think what we saw with Jeff and Brent and the rest of the crew with Alex and the rest of them not going to look like what the average CrossFitter is going to do. So I think we already saw sub 6 minutes. Noah and some others have already gone sub 6 minutes, and the times by the end of the weekend are going to be absurd. But let's talk strategy for the everyday CrossFitter, like the person who's looking more at the 15-minute time cap as a reality rather than, hey, am I going to be in the sub 6 minutes here?
Yeah. So I think the first thing to ask yourself is, does the dumbbell feel light to you? If the dumbbell feels light to you, then you can consider doing what we would call a muscle snatch, where you're basically just like, you're jumping up in the sky and just ripping it right overhead. We're not trying to drop underneath the dumbbell. The next thing is, whatever you saw on TV with the way they were doing the burpees, whatever you're seeing on YouTube with the way like Noah and Chandler are doing their burpees, throw that out the window. That is not how it's going to go down. So immediately what you're thinking is you're going to step up every single burpee. What I like to think about as well, when I'm getting down, like we're not even thinking about how fast we can get down. It's just get down and step back up. Don't even worry about being low to the ground, right? Because if we're moving too fast, then you're not going to give your body enough time to, keep the heart rate at bay, right? And you might feel things that these other athletes are not feeling, like their shoulders are going to get really tired. It's going to feel like you're doing 90 push-ups instead of just 90 burpees, which, if you consider that, 90 push-ups feels a lot harder because it's going to be feeling a little bit more challenging in the snatch. I would say like a solid time would be to expect to finish within like 10 to 12 minutes. It's almost feel like you're just flowing through it. Now, when you're doing your dumbbell snatch, still snatch that thing with as much power as you can. But again, if it's heavy, you might have to consider catching the dumbbell overhead with your knees bent. And so that, like, the two main things is steady, right? Not slow, but steady, and power. Bring as much power as you can with that dumbbell snatch, and expect that you might have to drop in the early round of, the second round of 21 because the shoulder might be a little tired.
All right, Matt, I gotta paraphrase this now because these are mostly for me as the I'm not the cardio queen of the group here. So like before we went live, I already told Dave and Jordan I'm going to this one like strictly work rest ratio. So like I'm gonna work for a minute, probably take a minute to rest. But no, I like what you were saying there, because I think a lot of people, especially with does the dumbbell feel heavy or not, that's very relevant, because for probably the majority of the general population, for a guy, a 50-pound dumbbell is going to feel heavy. And then after you do that and then go into do a burpee, like if you're thinking, oh yeah, I listened to, Annie on the live and she's like, stay low on the burpees and go, like, these are just valuable points to be like, if it feels heavy, like you're going to have to, you don't have to go slow, but steady, like, and steady might feel slow, like at the beginning, but rather that than just, blow it in like the first 21 burpees and then have to just stand around like catching your breath, or like, feel like you just did 90 reps of push-ups for time. So these are important things for all of us to remember. Like, we can be inspired by everybody that we watch on YouTube and the announcements, but there's a lot of, there's probably more strategy for the rest of us on this workout than the elites.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think about just how much energy usage you need just to get that dumbbell overhead. Yeah. If it feels heavy, like, I like to tell my members this, it's like the way a 20-pound dumbbell feels in your hand is the way 50 pounds feels in his hand. So we're thinking about two completely different workouts now. Like I realize they look the same on paper, but I have to tell him to sprint. And then and I say you, but for us as well, it's like we have to like I'm somehow finding a way to EMOM. That's all I'm saying. Is like, all right, 21 burpees should take me around 1 minute and 15 seconds. And if I'm faster than that, in my mind, I'm going to start to freak out.
Yeah, definitely.
What's kind of interesting, you talk about being steady, and I think we were listening to Noah talk about his strategy, and Noah was saying, I was steady at 90% for the entire workout. So Noah's being steady was basically like an RPE of a 9. And it's like, well, what is your steady as well? Like, what are you anticipating being able to stay steady at? For someone like Noah, being steady is balls to the wall. Your steady is probably one where your heart rate is probably around staying in zone 2 for the entire 12, 15 minutes. So I think that's important too, like understanding what steady means for you, what you can sustain, what your actual pace is for this. So being steady is important and also different for every person out there.
Yeah, this is a great time of year to really feel bad about yourself. Like that would constantly be my takeaway. I remember when I first started doing the open in like 2012, and I was so hyped, and I was like, I was trying to strategize everything, and I'm like, I am so unfit. I can't, like, every time I was wrong. Like every time I did the open, I was wrong. And then finally, it may have been like 2017 or 2018, I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to give myself like any hope at all. I'm just going to go into it, and it's going to be the easiest potential strategy that I feel like I can just manage without which, like, no one wants to feel like they're dead at 3 minutes and then struggle for another like 9 minutes. And so I just flipped it around. I was like, let me keep it easy for 9 minutes and then die for 3 minutes. And then once that started happening, it was amazing. It was like my fitness actually started getting better, because I wasn't just training to just kill myself every single time. So, take it easy. It should feel like you're taking it too easy, and you're probably right in the right spot, right in the safe spot, because no matter what, when you hit minute 7, it is not going to feel easy. So even though it feels easy in the beginning and you're not going fast enough in the beginning, I promise you, when you get like to minute 7, minute 8, that wall will come, and then you can fight against it.
And plus, if you go out there, go out too easy, and it ends up being a workout that you thought you could just do it again. You got Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do number 2, right? Are you a group that redoes workouts or a one and done?
We're typically one and done. Last year we did one and done everything from the open to quarterfinals. And that's really because there was no mistakes with cameras.
So what about valuable piece there?
I have a question for you, Matt. What's your thought about the new way to do the dumbbell snatch, all one side first and then the other? And does that change your
So yeah, I think it has to be done that way in order to create a little bit more fatigue in the shoulders and the arms. Because it does feel easier at first. But like the way I look at it is like, imagine doing like, I don't know, all 3 of you can do this, a single arm like pull up, right? And then coming around and doing like normal pull-ups. Like, you're right, if whatever arm you start off with, you'd be like, what is happening here? And that's kind of like, I think the same thing. It's going to feel a little off after hitting 21 on the right side. Because if you did alternate it, I think they would actually had to have increased the weight because it would have just, and I still think this will happen. There's going to be a lot of people, like, I think Noah was 550, Chandler Smith was right around that mark. I just saw the dude from Australia go, he was at 550. Like, we're going to see a lot of these like top athletes hit that, like, they're only going to be able to move as fast as like their height allows them to move, but yeah, I like it. I really, really like, if I was still an affiliate owner, I would love this. Like, fit as many people on the floor at one time, as judges will allow, and just have them rip it. Like, you don't have to worry about lines. You don't have to worry about measurements. It's just like, I think it's a really cool workout for affiliates. So I do think they did well with that.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, some of the open workouts are nightmares for, you can run 2 heats in a whole gym. You're there for 12 hours with your members running.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's like, what are we trying to do here, guys? It's like you're trying to make our life as difficult as possible.
I had a question, Matt, for especially since you were an affiliate owner. Um, was this one that like if this was one right now for you owning a gym, would you quote unquote allow like redos from your members, or is this like, guys, let's do this one good and then like keep our programming, keep training, or did you kind of play into that like, all right, let's, yeah, you can redo it on Monday if you want,
Yeah.
like rest, recover, game, and come back.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting is I would encourage them to not redo.
Mhm.
Now, here's the interesting thing is they're allowing more people into quarters. So I would probably use the language of like, look, if you guys want to redo, let's utilize quarters. And I know full and well quarters is like 5 workouts in 1 week, and they're much more demanding on the body. No one's going to redo those. They come in and they're just like falling apart everywhere. And so I know there's a less likelihood in there. So I would, and again, I utilize my athletes as well. It's like, guys, you know, let's do it like they do it. Like it's one and done. They hit their strategy perfectly. We're here to help you with your strategy. If you're a little confused, maybe don't go on the first heat. Maybe watch. Maybe talk to someone first. But my goal, and this is really our goal, even in competition, is we have to get it right on the first try. It's just the nature of the sport, right? It's
Yeah.
rare that you get to do it multiple times. Now last year, or excuse me, I would probably say like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if you guys have felt the same thing. Like I used to remember repeating workouts 2 and 3 times. I don't know what was going on in my head because it was just like a little bit better, just like one rep better, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds faster.
I,
Just to
yeah, it's I think it's like leaving the cookie jar open for the kids. It's like if it's there, you're gonna reach into it. And I like what you said there though. Like in competition, you get to do it one time. So if the open is the opportunity for the general population to practice like it's a competition, like do
mm,
it and see where you're at, and then continue, because like you wouldn't do that in a normal week at the gym. Like, all right, today's workout on Monday, and everybody's like, oh, I think I can do better tomorrow. Can we do it again tomorrow? Like
yeah.
teaching you're teaching bad habits or bad expectations in that sense. So I like the idea of like, yeah, watch, observe, like game it a little bit, wait till
Mhm.
Monday if you want to and do it on Monday, but let's teach what we want to teach, and allow it to also be a learning experience. I like that.
Yeah. It's funny that this sport that we choose, and I'm thinking of it as a sport because we're in the open now, is like you finish something, you're like, I could have gone so much better. And you think about it, and the whole weekend goes by, and it's like Monday, so you're like, I'm gonna do it. And then finally everybody's like, don't do this. Don't do this to yourself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Did you guys ever grow up in sport and you're like, yeah, like maybe like I could have done one thing better, but it may not have like changed dramatically. Like it's almost like this sport, you're like overthinking every tiny detail, and you're like, I just could have gotten 1 second quicker. It's like,
Mhm.
I just don't remember thinking about it like that. And I guess team sport, and I don't know, you guys as individual sport growing up, it's
Well,
like
It's
it's
I
weird.
think it's like what Mike said is you don't really have those do-overs in those sports. Like, if I missed a pommel horse routine, that's it. Like, the judge is not giving me a second chance to raise my hand. It's over.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually, I think it is pretty comparable to training and weightlifting. Like you have the coaches that will just let you keep going until you
Mm,
make it. And it's like, I made it was like attempt 30. Like that's 10 competitions. You would have had to compete 10 times to like get it right. And I as a younger, like you said, your younger years of CrossFit, maybe you were doing more repeats. And I think back to my weightlifting years, and as a younger athlete, yeah, I'd miss something 5, 6, 7 times. I'm like, I know I can make it. And a lot of times my coach would let me like to learn, like, okay, yeah, great, you did it. And then the next competition, you missed it 3 times at the competition, but you were done. So how about we like figure out a way to do it once right, or maybe get a redo one time. There's opportunities for everybody, no matter what level in the affiliates, and at working out at home, to like treat this. I like this one and done approach, so I'm gonna preach that a little bit louder to my friends, I think.
Are you doing it yourself, Matt?
yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't.
Begrudgingly.
So much
Yeah,
excitement.
man. Like I'm at the point where it's like I do it just so people get off my back. Like, it's like I don't know if that's the right way of approaching it, but I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I think we're all doing it with that same mentality. Jordan,
Will you do it first, Matt, so that you can have more insights to pass on to your athletes?
No, not for that reason. Honestly, I'll probably do it on Monday by myself, like while they're
hide in the
training.
corner.
Yeah, like they'll see me do it and they'll probably laugh, but
Let Barkley judge you.
yeah, exactly. So you know what's funny is like I think there's only a select few coaches out there, very select, that can go out there and do a workout and they're like, okay, this is probably like what you're going to be feeling, right? Because to me, kind of what we mentioned before, the burpees are going to get hard. My shoulders will get tired first, and then my heart rate is just going to spike through the roof. Fee, and I think this is like probably a very good workout for Fee. She's like, I'm just going to go as fast as I can right for the beginning and just finish as fast as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
So for her, she's probably going to be like heart rate is going to be her biggest limiter, but she won't feel that until like maybe, the end of the 15s on the last like set of burpees where she still has to go 9999. In which case, like you can just bang your head up against a wall, and just black out and finish those nines. Where, us, it's like we're going to finish the round of, the second set of 21 snatches. And we will start to feel like we need to regulate things, like slow it down, try to figure out ways to just like survive through the remaining, whatever is left, 50, 45 burpees.
I think we've covered it. This is an open workout that isn't super complex, but it's a kick in the balls. I'm excited to see how Mike, you and Jordan do over the weekend. I force everyone on the team to do the open. So whether or not they want to do it, Jordan wasn't going to do it. And then this actually falls in his wheelhouse. He's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do this one because I'm good at these movements. Now he's looking forward to it.
We pay homage to the man. We signed up. We're ready. We're ready to do it. Show our support.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's 13 years doing the open now. I don't know what my just part of February, March roll around, and $20 is given to the gods.
You know what I mean? It's like this is how we pay our drop-in fees right here.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Matt, thanks for the time, man. We look forward to watching you and the team get into the 2024 season. We had Fee on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. You know how much we love you and your crew, and you got such a great team and great people down there. We want to see you guys succeed at a high level. Good luck. We'll follow along with the season. Any parting words for the listeners out there? What you got going on?
Nothing at all. Just I'm excited to see how this next 3 weeks goes down. Good luck to everybody out there. It's treat us, have fun. And I have to convince myself to have fun sometimes when we're at this part of the season. But everyone is out there and they're actually encouraging you. They're not competing against you. Surprisingly, it might feel like that sometimes, but your competitors want to see you do well. It's crazy. It's like that, but take that positive swing and have fun these next 3 weeks.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate the time today.
Yeah.
For all the listeners out there, good luck with the open. Send us your time. Send us any questions you have about what's going on. And please be sure to head over to powermonkeyfitness.com for services and upcoming events. You can check out our Instagram pages for regular teaching and technical content at Power Monkey Fitness, at Dave Durante, and at Mike Service. On behalf of Power Monkey Fitness, we're your hosts. I'm Dave Durante with my co-host Mike Service. And until next time, thank you all for listening.